I had a house worth $850,000. I had a car that made people turn their heads on the highway. I had a job that paid me six figures. I had everything America promised me. And then one Tuesday morning, I packed two suitcases, bought a one-way ticket, and I never looked back. Now here's what nobody tells you. My friends thought I was crazy. My family thought I was having a breakdown. My coworkers literally said to my face, "You're throwing your life away." But today, right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I am happier, healthier, wealthier in ways money can't measure, and more free than I have ever been in my entire adult life. And the real question isn't why I left. The real question is, why did I stay so long? Stick with me. Because what I'm about to share with you is going to challenge everything you think you know about success, about the American dream, and about what it actually means to truly live. Let's go. Let me take you back. I remember being a kid watching American movies, American TV shows, listening to American music, and I was obsessed. Hollywood made it look like paradise. New York City, Los Angeles, the suburbs with the white picket fences, big cars, big smiles, big opportunities. The message was crystal clear. Come to America, work hard, build your dream. And I believed it. I believed it with everything I had. So I did what millions of people do. I studied hard, I got my degree, I worked on my English, I fought through the visa process, and let me tell you, that alone could be its own 3-hour documentary. I filled out forms, I waited in lines, I got rejected, I tried again, because I was that committed to the dream, and finally, I made it. I landed at JFK Airport. I remember looking out the window of the plane and thinking, this is it. This is where my real life begins. That moment felt like magic. And for a while, it was. But here's what nobody posts on Instagram. Here's what doesn't make it into the movies. The first year in America, I worked 3 jobs. 3. I was exhausted every single day. I would come home at midnight, wake up at 5 a.m., and do it all over again. And I told myself, this is temporary, this is the sacrifice, this is how you build something. So I kept going, I climbed the ladder, got the better job, got the apartment, then the nicer apartment, then bought the house. And somewhere around year 7 or 8, I'm sitting in my house, in my nice neighborhood, with my nice car in the driveway. And I felt completely empty, not just tired, not just stressed, empty. Like something fundamental was missing, and I couldn't even name it. I started asking myself questions that made me uncomfortable. When was the last time I laughed? Really laughed? When was the last time I wasn't worried about money, even though I was making good money? When was the last time I felt present? Genuinely present? And the answer scared me. I couldn't remember. Now I want to be very careful here, because I love America. I truly do. I have deep respect and gratitude for the opportunities it gave me, but love doesn't mean blindness, and gratitude doesn't mean silence. So let me tell you what I discovered and what they don't put in the brochure. Number 1, the healthcare trap. I got sick one year, nothing too serious, but serious enough that I needed some tests, some treatment, a couple of specialist visits. The bill that came in the mail, $34,000. $34,000. For something that would have cost me a few $100s or nothing in dozens of other countries. I had insurance, by the way, still cost me thousands out of pocket. I sat with that bill and I thought, one medical emergency can wipe out years of savings. How is this the greatest country in the world? Number 2, the work culture is quietly destroying people. In America, being busy is a badge of honor. People brag about how little sleep they get. They brag about working weekends. They brag about not taking vacations. I haven't taken a day off in 2 years, said with pride. And I was doing the same thing, because the culture demands it, because if you slow down, someone else will overtake you, because rest feels like weakness. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and America had drained me completely dry. Number 3, the cost of living versus quality of life. Math doesn't add up. I was making 6 figures, and I was barely getting ahead. Mortgage, car payments, student loans, healthcare. groceries, which by the way have gotten insane, subscriptions, taxes. By the time the month was over, I was looking at my bank account wondering, where did it all go? And this isn't just my story. This is millions of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, not because they're lazy, but because the system is designed that way. Number 4, the loneliness epidemic. This one surprised me the most. America is one of the loneliest countries on earth. Studies confirm it. Doctors talk about it. The Surgeon General released a whole report about it. In America, people are surrounded by millions of people and desperately alone. Neighbors don't know each other. Communities are fractured. Everyone is inside their house, inside their car, inside their phone. I came from a culture where community was everything, where your neighbor's problem was your problem, where food was shared, celebrations were shared, grief was shared. And in America, I lost all of that. And I didn't even realize how much it was costing me until I left. Let me tell you about the exact moment I decided to leave. I was on a call with my mother back home. She was telling me about a family gathering, a cousin's wedding. Everyone was there, all the people I grew up with. There was music, food, dancing, laughter. And she said, "We missed you. Everyone was asking about you." And I just broke. I'm sitting in my 4-bedroom house, alone, on a Saturday night. And my family is thousands of miles away, living the life I thought I was working toward. I realized something in that moment that changed everything. I had been trading my life for a lifestyle. I had been so focused on building the American dream that I forgot to actually dream for myself. I forgot what I actually wanted. I forgot who I actually was. And that night I made a decision, not out of desperation, not out of failure, but out of absolute clarity. I was going to leave, and I was going to find out what real life felt like. When I told people, the reactions were something else. My boss looked at me like I had just told him I was joining a cult. "You're leaving? But you're doing so well here. This doesn't make sense." My American friends were confused. "But where will you go? What will you do? How will you make money?" Some people were almost offended, like my leaving was a personal attack on their choice to stay. And my family back home? Half of them were excited. Half of them thought I was having some kind of crisis. "You worked so hard to get there. Why would you throw it away?" And I had to sit with that question, really sit with it, because from the outside it looks like throwing something away, but from the inside, it felt like choosing myself for the first time. There's a massive difference. Throwing something away is careless. What I was doing was intentional, deliberate, researched, planned. I didn't just rage quit America. I spent 8 months planning my exit, researching countries, understanding taxes, residency, healthcare systems, building income streams that could travel with me. This wasn't running away. This was running towards something. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I went, because honestly, the specific country matters less than what I found there. But I'll tell you what I discovered. I discovered what it feels like to wake up without anxiety. In America, I woke up every morning with this low-level hum of stress. Deadlines, bills, traffic, emails, performance reviews. Here, I wake up and there's quiet. There's space to think. There's time to actually exist before the day demands everything from me. I discovered what community actually feels like. My neighbors know my name. Not just my name. They know my story. They invite me to things. They check on me. They bring food. I have more genuine human connection here than I had in 8 years in America. I discovered that healthcare doesn't have to be a financial apocalypse. I went to a doctor last month. Great doctor. Modern facility, professional service, total cost, the equivalent of about $15. $15, let that sink in. I discovered that you can work less and live more. I work about 5 to 6 hours a day. I have time to exercise, time to cook real food, time to read, time to have long conversations, time to just sit and think. And my output, the quality of my work, has actually improved because a rested, present, connected human being does better work than a burned out shell of a person. I discovered what I actually like. This sounds simple, but it's profound. When you're on the American hamster wheel, you don't have time to discover who you are. You just become what the system needs you to be. Here, I've been rediscovering myself. What music I love, what food I love, what kind of conversations energize me, what kind of mornings feel sacred. I'm becoming a person again, not just a productivity unit. I'm not here to hate. I want to pause here and be honest, because this isn't a hate speech about America. Far from it. America gave me things I could not have gotten anywhere else. It gave me discipline. The work ethic I built in America is something I carry with me everywhere. The drive, the ambition, the belief that hard work produces results. It gave me skills, professional skills, communication skills, business skills, skills that now allow me to live anywhere in the world. It gave me perspective. You cannot truly appreciate what you have until you've experienced different systems, different cultures, different ways of organizing a society. America gave me the financial foundation that allowed me to make this leap, and for that, I am genuinely grateful. But gratitude doesn't mean you have to stay in something that is no longer serving you. You can be grateful for a chapter of your life while turning the page. That's not betrayal, that's growth. What this is really about, here's what I want you to really hear. This isn't just about America. This isn't just about me. This is about a global conversation that millions of people are starting to have. What does a good life actually look like? For generations, we were told the formula: get educated, get a stable job, buy a house, climb the ladder, retire at 65, then enjoy your life. But people are waking up. They're looking at that formula and asking, what if I want to enjoy my life now? What if I don't want to wait 40 years? What if success isn't about the size of your house? What if it's about the size of your joy? What if wealth isn't just about your bank account? What if it's about your time, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind? These are not radical questions. These are human questions. And more people, from every background, every country, every income level, are asking them. The rise of remote work changed everything. The pandemic forced people to reassess everything. The internet made every corner of the world accessible, and the result is a generation of people who are saying, I get to define what a good life looks like for me. Not my parents, not my boss, not my government, not Instagram. Me. The real reason I'm telling you this. So why am I sharing all of this with you? Not to convince you to leave wherever you are, not to tell you that America is bad or that anywhere else is perfect. Every country has its problems. Every life has its trade-offs. There is no utopia. I want to be very clear about that. I'm telling you this because I want you to ask yourself a question right now, today. Are you living the life you chose or the life you were handed? Are you on your path or the path that was pre-built for you before you were old enough to have an opinion? Because here's the thing. Some of you watching this are living exactly the life you want. You love where you are. You love what you're building. And that is genuinely beautiful. Stay, thrive, build. But some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel that hollow feeling. You feel the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. You feel like you're performing a life rather than living one. To you, I want to say, you are not crazy. You are not ungrateful. You are not weak. You are awake. And being awake is the first step to actually living. Leave you with this. Slow down, pause, speak from the heart. The title of this video says, The Truth Will Shock You. But here's the real truth. The most shocking thing isn't that I left America. The most shocking thing is how long I stayed in a life that wasn't mine, because I was afraid of what people would think if I chose differently. The most shocking thing is how many people are doing the same thing right now, living for approval, living for optics, living the life that looks good on paper but feels hollow in practice. I left America, but what I really left was fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being different, fear of not knowing what comes next. And on the other side of that fear is a life I am genuinely proud of. Not because it looks impressive, but because it's mine. So wherever you are right now, whatever country, whatever situation, whatever crossroads you're standing at, I want to ask you one final question. If fear wasn't a factor, what would you choose? Sit with that, because the answer to that question might just change everything. I'll see you in the next one.